Karen slapped my son in a luxury boutique because she thought he looked too poor to wear a suit. Her son kicked him to the ground while she laughed. I don't beg. I don't fold. And I don't wait for karma. I deliver it. I shattered Carter's arrogance across the tile floor. And when Karen lunged at me, I pinned her face to the glass she worshipped. You think justice takes years? Sometimes it takes 30 seconds. But if you think that's where it ends, wait till you see what happened at my front gate. He stood by the hallway mirror, straightening his collar for the 10th time. I watched him from the kitchen. My son, 17, tall for his age, but always shrinking into himself like he owed the world an apology just for existing. His tie was crooked. His hands trembled, not from cold, but from the weight of being seen. Prom was coming up, his first real event. No one had asked him to go, not officially. But he'd received a flyer in his locker and circled the date. That was enough for me. I saw it taped above his desk next to his sketches, his comic books, his quiet world where no one laughed at him for stuttering or called him the invisible kid. He deserved to be visible even if just for one night. So I made a decision. We'd get him a suit. Not a cheap rental. Not some discount rack disaster that would only remind him he wasn't like the others. No, this would be the suit that changed something in him. The kind of suit that when he looked in the mirror he wouldn't see a scared boy. He'd see the man he was becoming. He hesitated when I told him. Those stores aren't for people like us, he muttered. I looked him in the eye. No one gets to decide where you belong but you. He nodded slowly, but I saw the fear behind his smile. That kind of fear doesn't come from fabric or prices. It comes from years of being told, directly or indirectly, that you're not enough. That morning, we drove to Maison Céline, the boutique everyone talked about like it was a church for the rich. He wore his best shoes. I wore my quiet resolve. What we didn't know was that behind the glass doors, someone else had already decided we didn't belong. And she was waiting. The moment we stepped into Maison, everything changed. The air shifted, cooler, sharper. Chandeliers glimmered above marble floors. Tailored suits gleamed behind glass. Silent monuments of status. A classical piano score floated from hidden speakers as if the entire store had been designed to remind people like us that we didn't belong. My son hesitated just inside the door, clutching the fabric swatch I'd handed him that morning. He stared at the mannequins like they might ask him to leave. I placed a firm hand on his shoulder. You walk like you own the place, I said. He gave a nervous laugh. I don't even walk like I own my own bedroom. I smiled, but my eyes were already scanning. No salespeople in sight. Just a tall woman near the center of the store, gesturing dramatically toward a row of Italian jackets. Her voice, nasal and commanding, cut through the music like a saw. Karen, I didn't know her name yet, but I knew the type. Gold bangles, bleached hair, sunglasses indoors. And beside her, a boy around my son's age, square jaw, cocky grin, slouched posture that screamed privilege. Carter. She turned as we passed. Her eyes swept over me, then landed on my son and narrowed like a blade. She didn't smile. She didn't blink. Then she stepped forward. You, she snapped, pointing at my son as if summoning a butler. Be a dear and get that navy blazer off the rack for us. Size 42, and make it quick. My son froze. I stepped between them. He's not staff, I said, voice low but sharp. He's a customer. Karen scoffed. Oh, please spare me the speech. You people love pretending you belong in places like this. Next thing I know, you'll be offering fashion advice. My hands clenched. Take a step back, ma'am. She tilted her head. Did you just threaten me? I told you to move, I said, eyes locked on hers. That wasn't a request. Carter laughed behind her. Looks like someone forgot who pays the bills around here. Karen's smile returned tight, cruel. She turned back to my son, ignoring me completely. Take the jacket and hold it against your chest, she ordered. Let's see how ridiculous it looks on someone like you. He didn't move. I saw the flush creep up his neck, the shame curling his shoulders. I stepped closer, voice steady as steel. Touch him again and I'll break your wrist. Karen blinked, but only for a second. Then she stepped even closer, invading his space, her voice dropping to a hiss. You should teach your son not to stare at people who are better than him. And before I could react, before I could even move, she slapped him hard, loud, final. The sound cracked through the boutique like a gunshot. My son stumbled back, one hand on his cheek, eyes wide with disbelief. I heard a phone camera click nearby. A customer had frozen mid-step, hand over her mouth. I took one step forward and the last sliver of Karen's smirk shattered like glass. My next move was instinct. I stepped between her and my son, my heart pounding like a drum. Carter didn't wait. With a twisted grin, he moved fast, boot aimed low. I heard the awful sound of impact, my son's cry, and then he was on the floor. My blood boiled. I didn't think. I acted. I caught Carter mid-turn, brought him down hard on the marble. The crowd gasped. Karen screamed. She rushed, wild, flailing. I caught her by the wrist, spun her around, and pinned her against the boutique's front glass. Her shriek was shrill, pathetic. People filmed. Staff watched. The truth played out loud, raw, and undeniable. Security footage told the story frame by frame. Slap. Kick. My restraint, my defense. Karen was banned. Carter expelled. The footage went viral. My son, who once thought himself invisible, became a quiet symbol of dignity and courage. He didn't just go to prom. He walked into it like he belonged. And Karen? She tried to come back, ranting at our gate, lawsuit in hand, fury in her eyes. But the neighborhood was done with her. The cameras caught it all. Again. She lost everything. Her title, her reputation, her grip on fear. Because this time, the community didn't look away. They stood. And my son stood taller for it. Justice didn't come in a courtroom. It came in the silence that followed when no one sided with the tyrant anymore. And that silence? It echoed louder than any scream ever could. In the weeks that followed, my son walked with a new kind of confidence. No more slouched shoulders. No more apologies in his eyes. He didn't just wear that suit to prom, wore it when he received a scholarship award, when he interviewed for his first internship, and when he spoke at our neighborhood's youth leadership forum. He spoke clearly, powerfully. No stutter. Just strength. Karen, on the other hand, vanished. Her house went on the market in silence. Her name was scrubbed from every HOA record. A cautionary tale sealed behind manicured hedges and gated regrets. And me? I learned something too. That standing up for your child isn't about yelling the loudest. It's about showing them, without ever blinking, that they never have to bow to cruelty. Not in boutiques, not in neighborhoods, not in life. We didn't just buy a suit that day. We reclaimed something they tried to take from us. And when my son stepped into his future, he carried that moment like armor, tailored, proud, unbreakable.